am Todd Raffel with Eightfold AI. We are a talent intelligence platform, and I'm here with Rob Dromgoole. And Rob has a super interesting job. He is with Choctaw Nation. If you're not familiar with it, it's a Native American, a sovereign nation of more than 200,000 people, more than 10,000 employees on 7 million acres approximately. And it has every job a whole nation might have, manufacturing, healthcare, casinos, and a lot of other things. That's just a tip of the iceberg. I think it services the military, US military, all kinds of things. And so his role, and by the way, the Choctaw Nation is not just a place, it has its own language, history, dance. Is that all right, Rob?
Oh, absolutely. And to be clear, I am certainly not an ambassador. I mean, I try to be an ambassador of the culture and speak a little bit about it, but I am by no means an expert on the Choctaw culture. But absolutely, it has a 13,000-year oral history and tradition. In fact, it was the first Native American tribe on the Trail of Tears, marching up from Mississippi and Louisiana up to Oklahoma during that time. And the reservation as it stands today, 8 states can actually fit within its borders. And it is the 3rd largest Native American tribe in the United States. And you are correct, we have about 200,000 tribal members, but they reside worldwide. Not all of our tribal members live within the reservation boundaries.
Okay. And your job, your job has not just a dual role, a triple role, really. You're head of 3 different things. Ultimately, it's like the head of a country's hiring almost. But tell me that kind of triple role of your role.
I like to joke with my the head of human resources here that in a lot of ways he is the head of the Department of Labor for the nation. So, which is a great way to summarize it. And in a way, if you think of my role, not only do I run recruiting's pretty standard. If there's any recruiters watching this, they get that. But the 2 unique programs that I also who I head up. One of them is called Workforce Development, which specializes in essence, being advocates for our tribal members who are interested in working for the nation. And we'll spend time with resume writing, interview preparation, and partnering with recruiters to try to get those tribal members hired. And another program which I head up is called Job for the Day, which is it's an 8-week temporary program, which is for tribal members only. And our goal with that, we have about 200 people who are on that program today. And our goal is after those 8 weeks, we are trying to convert those tribal members to full-time positions. And if we're not successful in getting them into the nation, we're working to try to find them jobs outside the nation or to another government program. So all told, I have 3 very different, diverse groups, all of whom have different missions. And it is definitely keeping me busy. I'm very blessed. I love working for the nation.
So if you didn't catch that, so we have head of talent acquisition, essentially, head of basically workforce development, which was almost like a representative of job seekers, and then head of Job for a Day, which is like a temporary program. And so you told me a story about a woman who came in with her kids for the workforce development.
Absolutely. So now keep in mind, Sharon Dotson, she's the manager of this program. And she told me this happened within the past 6 months. She had an abused woman come in who recently separated from her spouse, shows up at the headquarters in her car, and she helped get this tribal member clothing, food, a place to live for her and her kids. And once she was safe and had a place to live, she was an advocate for trying to get that tribal member a job. And in fact, it's around 12:30. I was just actually down in our cafeteria and saw her working in the cafeteria. And that's because of Sharon's program and what she does with workforce development. She's an advocate for the tribal members in helping to uplift and change their lives and find them work.
Wonderful. And you right now, despite this pandemic going on, And despite that, some of your business is indoors and some of it's in hospitality, you're not having a very slow year and last year. Is that right?
No, we are very fortunate. I don't know that we are that unique. If you talk to any regional casino, which is open today across the United States, they are all actually performing very well. From an industry phenomenon with Las Vegas being predominantly closed and lots of conferences shutting down, they are suffering. But what's happening is instead of people going to places like Las Vegas, they are flocking to their local casinos and resorts. We have 22 casinos, 3 resorts, and our occupancy rate is very high. All of them are performing very, very well. And this is, now we don't have live events at the moment because of the pandemic, but we still have customers coming in. Our restaurants are open. Now our buffets are closed. And we do limit our bar hours as an example. All of our staff are wearing masks. We are very much COVID aware, but we are still operational.
You're hiring on a typical years, but what thousand compared to what thousand now?
So at least now I've only been here about 18 months, but the data that I have shows the past 2 years, my team has processed 3,200 hiring transactions a year. However, about 35% of those are internal. So some of that is shuffling the deck chairs, but we have about 2,000 hires a year on average, is what we've routinely done.
But now you have what?
Oh, today? Oh, well, a big thing that we have today is our expansion. Our largest resort, which has 700 hotel rooms, we are actually in the process of expanding that to 1,700 hotel rooms. So we're going to hire a net additional 2,000 people this year on top of the 2,000 whom we normally hire. So we are doubling our recruiting for FY21, and we are so excited. I got about 170 jobs posted today. And if anyone's interested, go to careers.choctawnation.com because we are actively hiring.
So that means working on what? Branding, marketing, filling with past employees, past applicants?
Absolutely. All of the above. So being in rural Oklahoma, well, my role is more strategic. My team does all the heavy lifting and all of the credit goes to them for each and every one of those hires. But I am partnering with marketing and we're looking at the strategy, we're looking at the technology, and we're looking at ways that we can scale to try to get as many applicants to apply to those roles as we can. And also training the recruiters to equip them to act as retained headhunters, if you will, in fulfilling the gap for the candidates whomever do not apply. And we're doing all of the above. So we partner with marketing, we partner with our consumer brand, and we're trying to leverage all of those things to try to generate an interest and buzz to get these candidates to apply.
Is the process somewhat virtual, somewhat in person, or what's the kind of the breakdown?
Well, because our resort, it's almost all in person, Todd. I mean, now some of like our IT positions we can do virtually just because of the nature of those roles. But in food and beverage, when you're talking servers, you're talking housekeeping, you're talking custodians, you're talking table dealers, all of that is face to face. So we still do job fairs, and we're living with the pandemic. At our job fairs, we have masks, we have, hand sanitizer, and we do social distancing interviews and we make it work.
And you don't have to be a member of the Choctaw Nation to work there. In fact, slim majority are not members. Is that correct?
That is correct. And if we have 10,500 associates approximately, and about 40% are tribal members. Now, to be sure, we have a hiring preference. If a tribal member applies for a job and they're interviewing against a non-tribal member, we will hire that tribal member first. That is an absolute policy of ours. But there's just not enough tribal members locally. So we have lots of employment opportunity. I myself, I am not a tribal member, but they hired me because of my 26-year recruiting expertise and use of technology and scale. And I am proud to help fulfill their strategic mission and vision.
Rob Dromgoole from Choctaw Nation, thank you and good luck with everything.
Now, specifically, it's the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma. So there is another Choctaw Nation in Mississippi. But yes, thank you very much, Todd. Anytime.